What is going on, you guys? Petplatypus here, and it is time for a Dragon Ball discussion video. I knew there wasn't going to be a Dragon Ball Super episode this week, so I was thinking maybe I'll do a anime and manga discussion video. And I was watching Forever World, which I usually don't, especially not with Dragon Ball related stuff, but I watched this video talking about the English dub because there was that little, thing by Beerus' voice actor on Instagram that got deleted where it looks like he's recording lines for the first episode. We don't know anything yet. And he was talking about it, and nothing he said was really wrong at all. This isn't like a response to him. In fact, I liked a couple of the things he said in the video, like showing Kai, Buu Saga, and Super at the same time instead of fucking waiting for Buu Saga to finish, even though I'm excited for the Buu Saga. But anyways, point is, I went into the comment section and cancer. Fucking Dragon Ball cancer, man. Fucking shit. So, I'm reading the comments, and this video has nothing to do with those comments, but it just got me in that fucking debunk the bullshit mood for Dragon Ball. So I'm going to start off with the simplest one. Maybe not the simplest, but I'm going to start off with one that I probably should have talked about a long time ago, because I've already made, jokes about this in a lot of my Dragon Ball Super reviews, and that is Goku being a bad father and debunking that bullshit. So roll intro, let's go. Honestly, the idea of Goku being a bad father is ludicrous to me. I don't even know where it comes from. Like, I don't think people should look at Goku and say he's like, Goku was such an amazing father, but I feel like there'd just be indifference to it. Like, I don't know why he's branded as a bad father. I feel like the natural reaction would be, oh, he's just kind of, like I said, indifference. Like, oh, Goku's a dad, not particularly great or bad as far as reaction by the fan base, but for some reason the fan base reacts as he's horrible, he's garbage, Vegeta's better. I'll talk about that, but let's just go through the timeline. Let's just go through the timeline. We have the 5-year time skip between Dragon Ball and Z. Now they're all Dragon Ball in the manga, but I'm gonna split them like that just for the sake of simplicity. Between Dragon Ball and Z, Goku, Gohan is born. He raises Gohan for 4 years. He takes him over, he meets up with Roshi and everybody. Raditz kidnaps him. Goku is pissed. He's hurt from Raditz and he doesn't give a fuck. He wants to go get his son back. Bad father, though. He wants to go get his son back. He teams up with his arch enemy to do so. He goes there, he checks on the son. He's over there in my pod. He looks he goes, he sees the pod. He's like, okay, Gohan's okay. He fights him. He sacrifices his life to take this guy down, to save his son, to save the world. And then he's dead for a year. Or almost a year, because the Saiyans arrived early. I forget exactly how the timing works there, but he's dead. He died. He sacrificed his life for his son, but bad father. Whoa. My bad. Obviously, they were going to bring him back to life. He just wanted time to train so that these Saiyans wouldn't go down to Earth and kill his son and kill all humans, so he wanted to train to be prepared for that. Piccolo forces Gohan to train, but Piccolo's the real father figure, even though he left him in the wilderness for 6 months to fend for himself. Gave him 2 apples and that was it. The fuck? No, I'm sorry. Bullshit. Piccolo was not the fucking better father figure. So Goku's dead. He comes back. What does Goku do as soon as he arrives on the battlefield once he comes back? He ignores Nappa and he goes straight to Gohan. He saves Gohan with the Nimbus and he goes straight to Gohan and he's giving out the sensu beans. He's making sure he's okay. Then he focuses on Nappa. It's very apparent from Nappa that he's not being paid attention to by Goku. He points it out with his facial expressions. Then you have Goku fighting against Vegeta and everything. All that shit plays out. I forget if it was in the anime only. It's in Kai, but Kai does keep some of the filler. I forget. He does tell Gohan, we'll go fishing after all this is over, and he comforts it and everything. If that wasn't canon, I do apologize for mentioning it, because I'm not trying to mention anything that's not canon. I'm speaking strictly about the manga material. But if he did say that in the manga, then, plus there also. But he goes, he fights Vegeta. They're both in the hospital. He's still with his son. And then Gohan, by his own choosing, goes to Namek. Okay, so he goes to Namek on his own. He's away from his dad for a few months by self-choice because he felt responsible for what happened with Piccolo. No fucking takes. Drinking water. Fuck it. Um, so Goku goes to Namek, and what's the first thing he does? Just like with Nappa, he goes straight to Gohan, gives him the Sensu Bean, then focuses on Recoome. And it's very apparent he cares about his son. He's putting his son before the enemies. And yeah, I just don't. This is the now after this is the big moment. He fights Frieza. The planet blows up. You think Goku's dead? He's not dead. This is the first time Goku chooses to not go home when he could. He's not dead. He's not too injured or anything. Well, he's probably pretty injured, but he landed on Yardrat. He could have gone home, but he decided to train his Super Saiyan form. Now, granted, it's a coincidence that Frieza decided to come attack Earth. However, Frieza was stronger than he previously was. So had Goku not trained, there's a chance Frieza could possibly beat him. Now, his Super Saiyan form was a lot stronger than him at 100%, because 100% he started to drain in power because he pushed himself too far, but still, the chance is there. So he trained himself, he learned the instant transmission, invaluable fucking skills that were very necessary later on in the series, which, of course, that's hindsight being 2020, but still, he was only away for like a year. So not really a bad father for being gone for about a year and then coming back. There for the next 3 years, training with him and Piccolo. Then they go into the hyperbolic time chamber. You got the moments where before they go into the time chamber, Tien and Piccolo are getting fucked up by Cell, and he's like, "You're not strong enough, don't go, you're gonna die." He stops Gohan from going, and he's concerned about his fucking son. Now, the end of the Cell saga, the end of the android arc, if you will, that's where Goku first shows actual bad parenting, but it adds to his character, it develops him, it develops Gohan, it's very, very well written. He thinks Gohan's just like him. He sees how powerful Gohan is from all the training he's done with Piccolo and just his natural potential, and he really wasn't paying attention to Gohan's more study and scholarly oriented personality, and Gohan really wasn't speaking up about it. So once they finally get to Cell and Gohan is like, "Dude, I've never met Cell. Yeah, I don't like him, but I don't want to fight him either." And Piccolo straight up tells him, like, "You fucked up. Your son is now getting the shit beat out of him because you made him do something he doesn't want to do." And what does Goku, the bad father, do about this? He fucking kills himself. He sacrifices his life to save the world, to atone for what he fucked up with Gohan, where he fucked up with Gohan. Now, Gohan was being too arrogant and not killing Cell when he should have, but Goku caused the whole thing. Goku caused Gohan to turn into this monster that was not even Gohan anymore. Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, as badass as everyone says he is, he's not Gohan at all. His personality completely changed, which is kind of scary when you think about it in context, but because you know Super Saiyan can make you more aggressive, especially the first time you transform, but Gohan was like way gone, which is definitely interesting for the character and everything. And Goku sacrifices himself, and he chooses to stay dead for the sake of the planet. Probably didn't know Chi-Chi was pregnant with fucking Goten, and definitely didn't know. And he goes to the other world, and he stays dead because he figured it'd be safer that way for the world, including his family, and boom, there you go. And this is why people say he's a bad father, because he's never there, quote-unquote. Even though he was there for Gohan's first 4 years, he was there during the Saiyan saga, he was there during the Namek saga, only missing a few months because Gohan chose to leave. Then he was gone for the Yardra thing, okay, fine. Then he was there for the next 3 years, all the way through the android stuff, and then he decided to stay dead, and yeah, he did fuck up with Gohan, but all parents fuck up, so, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. And then you have the Buu Saga stuff, where he comes back to life for a day, and he meets Goten, and he, you know, and yeah, he's a good dad. I don't understand, like, why people, like, he's not fucking amazing, but he goes to Gohan first to check on him all the time when it's Nappa or Recoome. He clearly cares about his son's safety. He cared about training his son personally. He had big plans for him, and yeah, it backfired, and he atoned for it by sacrificing himself, and he's a fine dad. Like, he's not standout, amazing, spectacular, but he's not fucking bad. I'm sorry. Like, he's just not a bad dude. Even in Dragon Ball Super, which I said I was going by the manga material, but even in Dragon Ball Super, he fucking, oh, what the fuck, he's in the fucking wedding picture. He's in Gohan's wedding photo. I don't think Chi-Chi was. I'm sure she was there, but I don't remember seeing her, but Goku was there. So, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, he went off to train with King Kai, you know, but I mean, he's still there enough. It's not like he's going to live at King Kai's for a long time. He just wanted to go there to train a little bit. So, yeah, I don't know where it comes from. Honestly, I think Goku gets a bad rap in terms of fatherhood. The real problem, though, because that took a while because I went through the whole timeline. The real problem is the people who say Vegeta is a better dad because he was there, even though he was very distant. Trunks is okay. Yo, as a baby, as a fucking baby, Vegeta did not give a shit about Trunks. When Bulma and little Trunks were gonna go crash during the fight with Dr. Gero, he said fuck him. He didn't do shit to save him. Future Trunks had to go in and save himself and save his mother. He didn't give a fuck about the baby at all. Terrible father. Right out the gate, horse shit father. And then, going into the Buu Saga, he never held him. He trained with him. He punched him. He beat him around or whatever to train him. But he never hugged him. He never held him as a baby. He never held him at any point until he sacrificed himself against Majin Buu. And that was a good moment for Vegeta's character. It was huge character development. And going forward with Trunks, going into Dragon Ball Super, which obviously we're not going into Dragon Ball Super too much because we're talking about the canon of the manga. Whether Super's canon or not, whatever. I'm talking about the canon of the manga itself. So setting Super aside, Vegeta was not a good father. He was there, sure, but he was not good. He was not a good father. He was basically like, oh, you know, I accidentally hit Trunks. Let me just take you to the amusement park so you'll shut up. Like, he was not a good dad in any way. He was just there. But Goku was there, too, when Gohan was there. He wasn't there for Goten, but he didn't know Chi-Chi was pregnant. And, I mean, again, I hate to keep bringing up Dragon Ball Super because Dragon Ball Super may or may not be canon to the manga or whatever, but Goku brings fucking threats. Like, he does. Beerus came because he was looking for a Super Saiyan God. Frieza came back for revenge on fucking Goku and presumably Trunks too, but Trunks wasn't there anymore. Oh yeah, they do mention that. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, Goku does bring threats, you know what I mean? So it's just, I don't get it. I don't get the hate for Goku as a dad. Yeah, he wasn't there for the Yard Rat training, but it's just a year. And you have to remember the context of the Dragon Ball story. You know, you have to remember that these aren't regular dads, and Saiyans aren't really made to be fathers either. I think it's very apparent when you look at what we see briefly of the Saiyan culture. Fatherhood is not something they really partake into too much, you know what I mean? And they're warriors. They have it in their blood, they're in their DNA. Vegeta and Goku, especially Goku was late to the party when it comes to a lot of social things. He's very, very dumb when you really think about it. He's smarter in the Dragon Ball Z era of the series, but he's still, you know, you have to remember the context of the characters, their personalities, you know, that's just how it is, you know what I mean? Like, he's gone for a year and then he dies in the Cell Saga and he's gone because he doesn't want the Earth to be in danger, and he feels that Gohan can still protect it when the need arises, which, yeah, Gohan was the strongest character in the series at that point, so potentially he could. Of course, he fucking slacked off and shit, but, you know. And then I saw even another thing, just to quickly mention, I remember seeing a comment, I forget what they were talking about, what video it was on, but someone was talking about how, like, oh, when, you know, Goku fucking, it was the Supreme Kai stuff in the Buu Saga, which I actually just read recently in the manga. It was like, oh, Supreme Kai's like, oh, don't attack, don't, just let it happen. And then you have the two Majin Buu goon motherfuckers, the Majin guys, like Spopovich and the other dude. They go in and they hit Gohan with that thing and they drain his energy and then they bail. And I saw someone trying to say, oh, look how shitty Goku is as a dad. He just lets it happen. He just trusts this guy he's never met to let Gohan just get attacked by these guys. And then he just flies off. He's not even concerned that his son got his energy drained. He just flies off to see what the Supreme Kai is going to do. No, not how it happened at all. Here's how it happened in the manga. I don't care how the anime did it. I don't care how the anime dragged it out. In the manga, these guys jump in. They start attacking Gohan. Goku is concerned. You visibly see that he is stanced up and ready, fist clenched. And Supreme Kai says, no, let it happen, you can trust me. At this point, Goku already knows he's the Supreme Kai. He knows this is the Lord of fucking Lords, as they call him in the manga. He's a trustworthy guy. He's very high in prestige. He's the Lord of fucking Lords. So Goku's like, alright, you know, but even when they fly off and leave Gohan on the ground, Goku is still concerned. Like, he's like, okay, I'll trust this guy, but you can still visibly see on Goku's face, he's not happy with what just happened to Gohan. Then he goes over there, and what's his name? Kibito, the dude who was with Supreme Kai, he says, I can heal him. And Goku, before flying off with Supreme Kai to go do the Majin Buu stuff, he says, can I leave Gohan's safety in your hands? He says yes. Goku smiles. He leaves. You gotta pay attention to the details, people. You gotta, like, you can't just totally trash a scene where Goku's apparently a bad dad and then be wrong on all accounts. That's not how it works. You know, you can't just say the opposite of what happens and act like that's a fact. Like I said, I don't care how the anime did it. If the anime dragged it out and had Goku with a blank expression or whatever, that's fine. The manga's what counts, and in the manga, I went page by page. You can check it out, it's chapter 444, and I believe 445, those two combined, if I remember correctly. So go check those out, then come back to me and tell me he was like that in that scene. Now granted, I only saw one person say that, but I thought it was worth mentioning because a lot of the fan base likes to misconstrue things and to make things seem like they actually weren't, or they just miss certain details, and you gotta pay attention to the details. That's why I went in depth on that particular scene. But, and I could do the same for other scenes, but I think going through the whole timeline of Goku as a dad, talking about Vegeta as a dad, and pointing out this specific scene, I think that's enough for this video. It's probably going to be a pretty long one. I do apologize for that if it was boring at all, but hopefully you liked it. Okay, the video has to be longer. I forgot about the end of the timeline. The fucking Oob stuff. The Oob stuff that everyone bitched about. Oh, he just abandoned his whole family to go train with this fucking random kid. Dude, his son, Gohan, is a full-grown adult with a child and a wife. And Goten is like, what, 17? Does he really, like, come on. Like, does he really still need to be there? Especially when he's gonna go train potentially one of the strongest beings on Earth and make sure they don't turn into a fucking villain, because Oob could easily turn evil. Yeah, he wished Majin Buu back as a good person, but that doesn't mean Oob can't make the choice to turn evil. You have to nurture that. You have to, you know, mold that into something good, you know what I mean? That raw power that Oob has that he could hurt people with. And Goku obviously wanted to pass his teachings on to Gohan. He wanted to pass things on to Goten and Trunks and everything. So it's like, if it's perfectly in line with Goku's character, he can easily come back and visit if he wanted to. I think he says he might, or he will. I forget exactly, so don't quote me on that. But, yeah, like, his son, like, Gohan's fully grown. He's an adult. Goten is literally, like, a few days away from being 18, practically. Like, really? Like, come on. Like, it's not like he's being a bad dad at the end of the timeline at all. He really isn't. So, yeah, I don't know. Fucking, whatever. Anyways, I could have explained that a little bit better, but the video's already long. I just wanted to add that part in because I forgot to mention it. So, anyways, you can be honest if you thought it was kind of boring, because I need the constructive criticism. But yeah, I do think it was informative. Boring or not, I do think I definitely hit all the bases I needed to hit. So I'm satisfied with it. But anyways, what do you guys think about Goku as a father? What do you think about Vegeta as a father? What do you think about all the points I brought up in this video? You can tell me in the comment section below. You can also follow me on Instagram or add me on PSN. I'm petplatypus on both. You can also give this video a thumbs up and share it on social media. Both those would help me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already, or if you like what you've seen here. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Thanks for watching.